Alright, let's talk about adding a core into a fractured static mesh. Now if I jump back into the content browser, I have a custom static mesh here that I imported from 3ds Max as an ASE file. So it's very simple, you just click import, and this is just a file you can save straight out of Max. The mesh itself is extremely simple, it's just a box. Matter of fact, if we open it up here inside the static mesh editor, you can see it's just a great big rectangle, and I stuck one of UDK's metal materials on it. The only other thing I did was to make sure I go into collision and add a 6 DOP simplified collision, which really just puts a collision box around it. If I click on show collision, we can see that there. So this is what you need to have. You got to have some sort of a static mesh that you can place inside your fractured mesh. Now I'll go ahead and close this out. Now let's open up our fractured column, and we'll jump right back into the fracture tool. And we'll go ahead and kind of slide things around to make the most of our screen space here. I'm going to click on our column core, and then back in the fracture tool, I'm going to click add core. Now, the static mesh is actually inside. You can just make it out under the semi-transparent fracture mesh itself. We have a little translation widget down here. If I slide this out to the side, you can actually see that core. And really all you want to do at this point is just center this up. If you tap the space bar, you've got a rotation widget that you can play with, as well as a scale widget. So you can make all kinds of changes to get that core to line up exactly how you need it to. But in my case, the default settings are working pretty well. So with just that in place, we can click Accept Core, and it's going to reslice our mesh to take the core into account. Now that's pretty easy. Let's just go ahead and click Close. We can get out of the static mesh editor. We can close out of the content browser. I do need to rebuild all of my lighting, so we'll go ahead and click on that. We'll give Lightmask just a minute to get past all of that. And it takes just a moment. And as soon as that's done, we can close out the window and jump into our level, and you'll see something kind of interesting as we blow away pieces of our mesh now. So let's jump in. Now check this out. As we knock off pieces, we're now exposing the core underneath. Not to mention that you'll see that our pieces now have a flat inside. They're actually built taking the core into account. So it's a way that you can have a support structure inside your fractured static mesh. So that's really all I wanted to demonstrate, just a quick example of placing a core mesh inside of your fracture, just to make it a little more interesting so you're not just kind of obliterating something completely away. That's going to wrap things up for this video. Thanks a lot.